Warm welcome to all of you at this year's EDF Erlebnis der Fliegenfischen. My name is Bernd, together with Lara Stroh. I'm your host today. We are really excited to host this event, Wild Salmon Without Borders, and are working together with the guests here, with the UK Salmon Conservation Organization, the Atlantic Salmon Trust. Great to have you. We will meet them later. Focus on the recovery of wild Atlantic salmon. At that stage, I want to explain why we're doing it in English. We have so many international guests. It is much easier to do it in English.
Yeah, thank you, Bernd. Now let me introduce you. So, this is Bernd Weber, and Bernd is a very successful and experienced international marketing and communication manager with a love of fly fishing, in particular for the Atlantic salmon, and he traveled all around the world in pursuit of this king of fish. He brings with him a huge depth of experience and a passion for the conservation of this iconic species.
So the salmon that are born in Glasgow are going to go as far as Greenland. The salmon that are born in other parts of the UK are going to go up to Norway. So we really are an international organisation. We work internationally because our salmon demand that of us. We're also a voluntary organisation. So we have a bunch of trustees who guide work that we staff do. You meet some of the staff here today. We have myself, Alison, our restoration director, Wendy Kenyon and Mark Coburn. We're all here today to answer any questions either during the presentations or afterwards. A big change over the last 30-40 years where salmon declined by 70-80%.
So we know that marine life is out, but it's quite difficult to know what we personally, in countries, can do about the difficulties of the sea. So that's probably a whole different talk that we can talk about at another time. But what we do know is that we can influence what happens in our fresh water. So we should consider not just, oh, there's a problem at sea, we can't do anything, but if we can produce healthier wild smolts in the best condition to send them to sea, then we may be able to bridge the gap whilst we find out what the problem at sea is.
Atlantischer Lachs in Deutschland, da macht sich eine andere Frage, was ist das? Ist das wirklich? Ja, früher hatten wir sehr viele Lachse in Deutschland. Das Bild, was man hier zu sehen bekommt von der Aare, ist schon aus der Zeit, als die Lachse schon günstig besetzt wurden. Also da war die schöne Lachszeit eigentlich schon vorbei. Aber solche Bilder gibt es aus fast allen Gebieten in Deutschland. 1950. 1850 waren es dann noch 100.000. Das sind die Fischzahlen aus der Zeit, wo das Bild eben war, das alte Bild, wo man in den meisten Vorträgen heutzutage hört. Aber das waren die vielen Lachse, die 100.000 Lachse. Das war also schon ganz dramatisch wenig Lachse. Da haben halt die kleinen Mühlen in den Nebengewässern schon die großen Probleme bereitet. Und im Jahr 1960 war der Lachs dann ausgestorben. Der Grund war Gewässerverschmutzung, Verbau und natürlich Gewässerbegradigung. Wie das früher mal aussieht, kann ich sagen, dass ein Beispiel aus dem Rhein. Innerhalb einer Strecke von ungefähr 2 Kilometern und in einem halben Jahr 1200 Lachse gefangen.
I think there is something very strong to tell about the fact that life goes beyond our own existence but belong to a cycle. And I think salmon are a great way to introduce that concept.
Can you see my presentation slides now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you. So today, I would like to quickly explain to you what is happening in Europe, why dams and weirs are being removed, and who is behind these removals. So let's go back only 4 years ago, until 2020. In Europe, we were not aware of the dams that were existing in Europe. The only total number we had was 7,000 big dams. That's the only number we knew. But thanks to a Horizon 2020 project called AMBER, and thanks to 20 partners involved in this project, we discovered through the collection of existing inventories in 36 countries that at least we have 1.2 million barriers in Europe. And out of those 1.2 million, at least 126,000 barriers are obsolete or not being used.
Obviously, it's really strong and gives a message of plastic dams. It's things where dams are bad. Two artificial that was launched in 2019 that really planted the seed for the big work around open-net salmon farming, but also around hatcheries and all these practices that really threaten. Last but not least is the Vjosa National Park. It's a river that starts in Greece, runs through Albania, that became the first national park, preventing it from being dammed and being ruined, really. So 1% for the Planet organization, the NASF Iceland and the IWF Iceland, because there was an urgency. They needed some support, and Patagonia could help.
If you take all the factors into consideration, ocean-based salmon farming is very sustainable.
From one single fish farm, you produce 50 tons of fish shit every day, causing severe damage to our natural environment.
First of all, thank you so much for having me, and again, thank you, Francesca, and the entire team at Patagonia for making that film as well. It's like you said, it's an emotional thing, and it's a terrible turn of events, but the film is a very important piece in this whole story, and I think the film can make a real impact, and it moves people. So I'm glad everybody got the chance to see it before my little presentation.
And then the final element of the recovery of the circle was the importance of being persistent and positive, and working together, and when things weren't going quite so well for one stakeholder, perhaps they were going better for another stakeholder, and supporting each other through that process. And I think are in place for salmon, and I'll talk about them particularly with respect to salmon in Scotland, but I know that these conditions and some of the things I'll talk about are relevant in all the different countries around, not only Europe, but the whole Atlantic.
In den letzten Jahren, auch während der ehemaligen DDR-Zeit, ist es wenig verbaut worden, wenig gemacht worden. Es ist wirklich eine Perle der Natur. Und seit den 1960er Jahren ist es eben so, dass man gesagt hat, der Lachs und die Meerforelle in diesem Flusssystem sind ausgestorben, beziehungsweise sind zumindest nicht mehr nachweisbar. Landesangerverband in Brandenburg. Und 1999 ist dann der Fabio als Fliegenfischerverein sozusagen mit eingestiegen. Und inzwischen wird das Projekt auch vom Wasser- und Bodenverband der Prignitz und vom Landesamt für Umwelt unterstützt. Das ist jetzt natürlich die Bachmuschel, kann man jetzt sagen, was hat das mit unseren Fischen zu tun? Das hat sehr viel zu tun, denn dieses Projekt ist eben vor allem dazu gedacht, das Habitat wiederherzustellen, zu verbessern. Und davon wird dann nicht nur die Bachmuschel profitieren.
is why you value this species in particular. So is there something about it, Thomas?
Thank you. Well, for me, I've grown up fishing. Fishing in general has been a passion of mine, and that is only because of my father, who has been introducing me at a very young age to fishing in general, and his interest in fishing was targeted towards salmon when he did it a lot before I came to the world. So for me, I've been very fortunate to experience these salmon rivers and experience the joy of actually catching fish, catching a decently sized fish.
But I'm pretty sad because we are on the status quo. It's all the other rivers that is going down, and that's due to the farming business. There is a lot of other challenges also in this, but as long as we have the salmon issues, the farming issues just outside the different rivers of Peru, we can barely cope with all the other challenges. The farming industry, and we also know what is actually the mortality of these smolt caused by. It's the lysis from the farming industry.
That is due to a management plan, the national management plan that comes in 2004, which was sponsored by the government, and we made release plans and plans for removal of obstacles, fish farms, and now we only release smolts. This has changed in the last years that we only use half-year fish in the West Coast rivers, and we still work with the smolts in the Guldenau.
And the ladders in World has been, I would say this one has been 100% successful. The middle one is maybe 60%. And we are now told by the government that we are going to get some money to rebuild that one.